back. It's Mitchell Report Unleashed podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And today I'm here with a very special guest, YouTuber, Mr. Dating Coach, Mr. Relationship Expert himself, Mr. Locario. What's going on, my man?
What up, man? I'm chilling, man. Thanks for having me. You know what I'm saying? Glad to be here. Chop it up with you. What's going on?
Hey, man. We're going to get right into the deep dive because this is what I do on this platform. Yeah. How's dating and the process of mate selection changed in the last 10 years, my man?
Man, I'll say this, man. I love this question because I tell people this, man. It hasn't really changed except for the social media and the technology, really. You understand? Mostly. And the reason why I say that is because what happens is that social media technology gives us basically more access to people. So back in the day, before the social media, before dating apps, before, Instagram, Facebook, all these other things, you had to talk to people, in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, around your way and, that type of stuff. So what happens is that if you're able to have access to people all around the world, then it's easier to connect with different types of people. You know what I'm saying? The funny part is that a lot of guys, especially thinking, social media and everything made things harder. Now, the funny part is it made it harder for guys who it would already had been hard for in the first place. But the guys who it was easy for, it's going to make it even more easier for them to get it going. So it all just depends on what your situation is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let's take a deep dive. I want this to be a juicy type of podcast for men and women to learn and things like that. So what do you think men can do to up their game in that social media lane now? Is it fashion? Is it money? What is it? Give me your expertise.
Basically they just actually need to know how to talk to women, know how to seduce women, know how to be attracted to women, because this is the thing. You can, for example, DM a bunch of girls. You can, match with certain girls on Tinder, Bumble, all these other apps. But the most important thing is that you're going to have to know how to talk to the girl in order to get her to come see you. Then when she comes see you, you got to know how to interact with her to get her to be feeling you in that way to make things go down. So at the end of the day, guys really still just need to know how to interact with women to get to the point where these women see them as, attractive, see them as, sexually attractive, guys they want to actually be with, guys that they like, guys that they respect. So, the unfortunate part about this is that there's so many guys out there now who don't know how to do this or who are having trouble interacting with women, period. So then now it's going to be just, even harder for most of these guys out here anyway, unless they step the game up, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. And the Vanity Metrics, you know what I mean? Because you see 8s and 9s and 10s out here on social media and their egos are being stroked. You know what I mean? And men like us, I feel like we know how to navigate through all of that. You know what I mean? We got the charm, we got the mouthpiece, we got all that. But some of these ladies and some of these men be gassed. They superficial out here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how would you say men that may not have our type of skill set be able to navigate and be able to talk to that lady that they may have, a couple hundred followers? I'm not talking the ones that have the 50K, 100K, 200K followers and stuff like that,
Right. I mean, well, the thing is this, all men need to know how to, talk to women, flirt with women, engage with women, period. And it doesn't even matter if she has 100 followers or 50,000 followers. At the end of the day, all guys need to know how to attract women sexually. Now, there's a lot of guys that can attract women, and have women put them in the friend zone. Or there's a lot of guys that can attract women and have women spend your money all day. You know what I'm saying? That'll happen. There's guys who can attract women that'll get women to basically go on a bunch of dates with them. You see what I'm saying? But what I tell guys is that you want to make sure you know how to get women who are going to be sexually attracted to you. And if she's not sexually attracted to you, then what happens is that you're the type of guy that's going to get used while she's looking for the guy she's sexually attracted to. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing,
So from your experience, how many times have you maybe simped out? Because I know you haven't really been like this all your life. You know what I mean? But how many times do you say that you simped out? And what is a simp? And what did you do to change up your game?
Right. I mean, when I was younger, because I'm about to be 41 in a minute. But when I was my teenage years, early 20s, around that time, there was definitely some simp situations where, I basically would go above and beyond to try to get with a girl. So that's what simping is that you're putting the woman before you. You're overextending yourself for a woman. You understand what I'm saying? And that can be in many different situations. And it's really just in the intention. So, for example, like if a guy just meets a woman and he, you know, buys her flowers and he takes her to an expensive restaurant and, you know, he never goes to a restaurant. This is just like he's going because he thinks she's going to like it, buying her flowers, rolling out the red carpet. He's simping because he's putting the woman above him. He's basically doing things above and beyond to get the girl to like him. Now, if a guy's been married with a woman for 20 years, and he, you know, it's their anniversary, and he buys her flowers, take her out to a nice fancy restaurant, roll out the red carpet. He's not simping because that's his wife. He's been with her for 20 years. She deserves that type of treatment. So that's a simp is basically a dude that just puts a woman on a pedestal. He bends over backwards for her to try to get her to like him. And yeah, I've done that stuff in the past when I was younger because, you know, I didn't know any better. And so that's usually what simps do, is that because they don't know any better, they end up doing these types of things, and then women don't respect them for it. So a woman will use a simp. She'll definitely get with a simp, use him, abuse him in a certain way, but you know, she doesn't really respect him, so he's gonna get the short end of the stick at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
I know, man. I think back when at my earlier 20s, you know, and I know a lot of people watch this in my past, you know, and things like that, and listen to the podcast. It's like the multitudes of sending them texts out, you know, often, double texting, triple texting. And I see dudes still doing this to this day. You know what I mean? It's like, you in your 30s, you in your early 40s, maybe your 50s, what are you doing? You got to change that, because I ask these questions to women also too. Right. Honestly, what's it like with men that you've dealt with? And they tell you all the exact same thing. So men, listen up. Don't do the double text and the triple text. You know what I mean? Now, here's me. I agree to disagree a little bit depending on how the conversation's happening. I don't like to have full of conversations on text. Right. But sometimes you may have to paragraph something. And it could be something that now has to deal with gaming her or courting her or something like that. So what's your take on that?
As far as like double texting and stuff like that? Well, this is the thing, you know, it's see, I always say to guys this, right? You have to look at things objectively, right? So what I tell guys is that your behavior is gonna tell a lot about the type of guy that a woman perceives you to be. So what happens is that if you text a girl, right, and you know, you say, hey, what's up? You know, what are you doing this weekend? Let's get together and get a drink or whatever, right? If she doesn't text you back and it's been like, you know, a day or two, right? And then you text her again and you say, hey, what's up? You know, how about that drink? And she's like, still hasn't texted you back, right? And then now you might even triple text. You might be like, hey, hello, where you at? Blah, blah. So now what the behavior is showing to her is that you are not an attractive guy, because an attractive guy wouldn't do that. Why? Because he'd have other girls he's talking to. He wouldn't bother to double and triple text a woman. He just texts her once, let her know what it is, and if she's not down, he'll just move on to the other girls that he's talking to and interacting with. So a lot of times your behavior shows a woman, you know, that you're the type of guy that she shouldn't be messing with, because she's like, okay, this guy, he's not the top guy, because the top guy wouldn't act this way. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of your behaviors can show her the type of guy you are, which will make her either deal with you or not deal with you. So now if you text a girl once and you say, hey, what's up? What do you know, are you up for a drink or whatever right there, right? And she doesn't text you at all. My best bet for you to do is to move on to another girl. And if she's interested at some point, if she thinks about it, hey, what happened to that guy I was talking to last week? Let me see what he's saying. And then I'll hit him back at this point. And if she doesn't hit you back, then you just keep it moving. But in general, you know, you shouldn't double text. Now there is you know, an exception to this though, because there are times where women, because of their circumstances, you know, will change. Since their circumstances will change, their minds will change, and then their feelings about a certain situation will change. So if you double text, it would only be in the situation, and I usually don't recommend this, but this is something you can do that can work, is that if you texted her, let's say today, and you said, hey, let's get together and get a drink, and she didn't text you back, you got to wait at least, you know, you got to let it simmer for at least 2-3 weeks or whatever. Then you hit her back. So you're still sort of double texting, but it's not like literally within 24 hours or 48 hours. It's like, oh, I'm getting back at you after the fact and seeing if something still is coming up. Because by that time, if you hit her up again, she might look at her text and like, oh shit, let me get back to this guy and, you know, see what's going on. Because right now, that guy who was her ex, who she thought she was going to get back with, they didn't get back together. The guy who she thought, you know what I'm saying, was going to make it happen, it didn't go down. And now she's free, and now she wants to, like, you know, do something with you. So that's the only other way. But even that way, sometimes I say, you know, you don't even need to do all that if you're already on top of your game, and just move on to the next girl. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I always had to ask this question because I feel like in your expertise and the people, like I tell people this, subscribe to your YouTube channel, Mr.
Right.
Locario, you know what I mean? You a beast in the game, you know what I mean? We have mutual friends, things like that. But the word feminism, I might get canceled for this one, you know what I mean? But it's all good, I'm here. What do you think feminism has done to alpha men?
I mean, nothing really. I mean, if you're really, if you really, think you're an alpha man, you don't really, that does nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? I think to beta men, it makes them feel a certain type of way, but like guys who are really just like about what they're about and about themselves, they don't care about that. And in fact, like women who claim they're like feminist or who like people who are with the feminist ideologies and stuff like that, it doesn't really affect like real dudes, like real men. They don't care. They're just like, I'm doing my thing and nobody's stopping me from doing my thing because I'm just going to keep being me and keep being a man and keep doing things the way I want to do it. And whoever's not down with it, then they don't got to mess with me. And if they are down with it, they could follow the situation. So it's kind of like, it's like a non-factor to guys who really are on point, because even if, for example, they're dealing with a woman who's a feminist, like I've dated women who are feminists, but they're not feminist around me for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just like, now they're all about the patriarchy now. When they're like around, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever. I'm like, hey, you could be a feminist with the other guy, but it ain't got to be that way with me. You know what I'm saying? So
why would you say that? Is it because the game's so strong? Just because you're so headstrong and you kind of know when to check feminism out?
Well, that's the thing, is that because what it is that femininity is going to yield to masculinity. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a balance. So like, for example, if I'm there's certain women who are very masculine that are not going to basically connect with a masculine guy because they're going to be button heads, right? So if you're a masculine dude and a woman is, acting masculine or has so much masculine energy, what'll happen a lot of times is because she sees that you're a masculine dude and she's interested in you, her femininity is going to come out. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like, for example, like, I find it funny a lot of times when, like black guys be like, yo, these black women, they got attitude problems and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, it's interesting when they're around a white dude, they don't have no attitude anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like, where did the attitude go? And that's because they're just yielding to whatever type of power or prestige or whatever he has in society at whoever that guy is. You understand? Or just, just the fact that he's white and we're in a white supremacist thing, but we ain't got to go all the way over there. But I'm just saying, so she's going to act very feminine to him because she's seeing him as masculine in whatever context that is. So a woman is always going to change her behavior based off of the guy who she's dealing with. This is why a lot of times where you can have one girl, let's call her, Diane or something. Diane will go out with guy A and guy B, and then guy A and guy B will have two totally different accounts of who Diane is. Guy A is like, man, Diane, she just came to my house. We was getting it in. She was super submissive. And guy B is like, man, Diane, she's kind of a, she's a tough one. She just like, is very like this and that. And it's like the same woman, but she's going to act different ways towards different guys. So that's usually what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. So what about the men that simply sit back and go, well, I like her and she's masculine. I still want to love her and all this,
Right.
what like, because here's the thing is there's a lot of masculine women that are out there.
Yeah.
And I don't mean masculine in the frame. I mean masculine about their tonality. You know what I mean? Not the look, because everybody wants to work out. Everybody wants to train. You got men out here like, I don't want my girl working out. And it's like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
You want her to be, fit, healthy, looking all right, you know? But like, it's the tonality, the voice, the presence, the demeanor. How do men cancel that? Like, give us like 2 tips. What can men do to cancel that out?
As far as like canceling out that masculine energy she has?
Yes.
Well, that's the thing, the is nothing necessary. Like, I'll say it like this, right? So, definitely. What happens is that a guy doesn't necessarily take the masculinity out of her. She just chooses to not be masculine. You understand? So meaning that, there always has to be a balance between masculine and feminine energy. When you have even, lesbian or gay couples, one is more masculine, one is more feminine. In straight couples, one is more masculine, one is more feminine. And even, in straight couples, you can have a masculine woman, but it's going to be a feminine man. You understand? And if you have a masculine man, it's going to be a feminine woman. It's either one or the other. So what happens is that if a woman is like really masculine and you know a guy wants her to be feminine, he has to be masculine. And so what happens is some women are going to stay being masculine with that masculine dude and try to make it work, and that's usually not going to work because there's no balance there. But what'll happen is that if a guy is, you know, masculine and she is adhering to him, then what's going to happen is that she's going to automatically submit and be feminine. So, you know, like I was saying before, is that, you know, the word submission, sub means under, and mission, so you're under the mission. So whatever that guy is trying to do, wherever he's trying to go, she's going to follow that if she's actually really about him. You understand? If she's attracted to him and she wants to follow him, she'll make the choice to do that. So what happens is that it's usually a masculine guy that she is attracted to that is going to make her be more in her feminine if she meets or encounters that guy. You see what I'm saying? And if she's not trying to do that, then she's just not that attracted to you to be that type of feminine woman to you if you're that masculine dude. You know what I'm saying? Sense. So that's what it is. Yeah.
No, definitely makes sense. Mm-hmm. So touch on the red pill community, and why do you feel like there's such a big misconception of the toxic side?
Well, I think this is the interesting part, because I've always been critical of the red pill community, and it's weird because I have a lot of friends who are in the red pill community. I don't consider myself like a red pill dude. You understand what I'm saying? I just, you know, teach game, I teach dating and stuff like that. But the reason why there's such a, I guess, like a toxic side of, you know, when people talk about the red pill community is because a lot of it has to do with pointing the finger at the woman sometimes. You understand? In a lot of situations, meaning that you're going to have guys who got done dirty by certain women, or certain women played them, or a woman might have, you know, like cheated on him, or you know, took him for his money, whatever situation it is, right? And so the red pill is like, well, this is the truth about female nature. Women are going to do this, women are going to do that, and this is what's going to happen. Right now, with them saying that, it's not that it's not true that's going to happen, but you have to understand that that happens and that goes down because the man allowed it to happen in one way or another. Either he was ignorant to certain things which allowed it to happen, or he understood what it was, but he still allowed it to happen. So when he's ignorant of it, that means that he didn't understand what he was doing in the situation that caused the woman to act this way. And then she acted that way. And now he's at the opposite end of that situation, and now he's upset. This is why guys have this thing called red pill rage, and they get all upset about the situation. But usually what happened is that he wasn't on top of his game to understand that was going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that, you know, it's weird because the toxic energy that comes from it is more so from the guys being mad at themselves for not really noticing or realizing that these things were going to occur. But they occur only when you're the type of guy who is not on top of his game. When a guy's on top of his game, none of this stuff happens to those types of guys. It only happens to guys who aren't on top of their game. And so this is why I teach game, because I want guys to understand that when you're having problems with women, it's because your game is weak. Guys who have tight game don't have problems with women. It just doesn't happen because we understand what's going on. We understand ourselves. We understand how women operate. And like I was saying earlier, some guys are going to have one type of relationship with a woman, and other guys are going to have another type of relationship with a woman, but it might be the same exact woman. So it's not the woman, it's the guys. If it's the same woman, but she's acting different way towards different dudes, it's because she's acting those different ways because each man is leading her into being that type of way with him. So if you're dealing with a woman, and you're in the friend zone, and she's sort of like using you for attention, that's because you allowed her to put you in that position and use you. If you're the type of guy that's smashing and having a good time and hooking up with these girls, that's because you've led her to the bedroom and to be able to do that. You see what I'm saying? If you're the type of guy who is worried about, like, man, this girl, she's taking me to court for child support, and bro, you gave her your seed. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you got to understand that it starts with the man. So the reason why there's a lot of toxicity is because it's taking the attention away from the man and putting it on the woman, but the woman is a reflection of the man. So if the man is being who he needs to be in a situation, then things will work out better than, it is at this point. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is,
I hear you. So there's just so much there to unpack, because I feel like when we think about these pills and stuff like that, you talk about this red pill rage and things like that. How would you describe red pill rage? Because I get kind of confused when I hear the red pill conversation talk. Because
Right.
is it like Neo from the Matrix? Is it red
Right.
pill, blue pill?
Exactly.
Which one you're consuming? You know what I mean? And then
Right.
this
Right.
rage comes out. So deep dive on that a little bit.
Yeah, so basically, the whole red pill rage thing is that they talk about is like a guy being upset about the fact of realizing that, you know, things are the way they are, and he was being a sucker. Basically, it's kind of like you're upset. It's kind of like you're kind of upset at women because of realizing the way that women will act towards certain guys, but that certain guy is you. The certain guy is you're the guy that it happened to, and so it's kind of like you. It's almost like you get upset because you realize that women aren't sugar and spice and everything nice that you were taught. You were upset that because you were taught that you have to cater to a woman, and because you did cater to the woman, she played you. You're upset about the fact that you were being the perfect gentleman, and you know she basically just wasn't really feeling you like that. So it's coming to the realization that all the things you were taught to be when it comes to dealing with women aren't really true. You understand? Or understanding that all those things you were taught are the things that's going to basically get you in a situation where you're going to be played. You understand what I'm saying?
No, totally. So that even ventures down the marketplace conversation and what the sexual marketplace is looking like right now. How do we fix it? And where do you think, to wrap it all up here, relationships and what the Western society is presenting is going to end up happening in the next few years from now?
Well, it's funny. I was actually on a Fresh and Fit's podcast the other day, and I said, at this point, there's going to be a lot of dudes who are going to just turn to the other side and be gay. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, ain't no wrong with being gay, but what happens is that certain straight men, I'm telling you, certain straight men are going to turn gay. They're going to start using sex dolls because there's going to be certain types of guys who they're not going to be able to attract a woman at all. You understand? And and because of this is the thing you got to understand. The reason why it's hard for guys generally to get women is because most guys have weak game, which means they don't know how to talk to women, attract the woman. They don't know how to interact with her, be sexually attractive, flirt. They don't know how to do any of this stuff. So now that they don't know how to do any of this stuff, it's going to be harder for them to just get women in general, because the women nowadays, because of social media, they have access to more guys who are attractive. So if a woman has access to more guys who are attractive, and we're in a day and time where women, they're just a little bit more free. So they're like, hey, I'm going to go find the guys I'm attracted to, have sex with them, hook up with them, and then hopefully be their girlfriends or wives or whatever it is. So now if you're the guy all the way over here and you're socially awkward, you're scared to get to talk to women, you're scared to approach, you're scared of rejection, you're not confident, why would she pick you when she has all these other guys over here who's on point? You see what I'm saying? So this is why I tell guys, if they don't really step up the game, the future is going to be they're either going to have to just be by themselves, or they're going to, get a sex doll or something like that. You know what I mean? Because it's unfortunate that that's where it's going now. Right now, there's so many guys out there who have never had sex, unfortunately. You understand? And so, it's just becoming a wider gap of men who are having issues dealing with women. And unless they actually take it seriously and take the time to learn this stuff to be an attractive dude, they're going to be, left behind. Unfortunately, it's just part of the thing, because see, what's going to happen is the guys who know how to get girls are going to continue to get girls. The women are going to continue to at least get attention from the simps and get the guys who they're attracted to, right? The guy that's going to be left out is the guy who doesn't know how to get women. You see what I'm saying? And he's just going to sit there by himself, and it's going to suck. And that's just, honestly where it's going. I wish it wasn't going that way, but it is. That's where it's going, unfortunately.
And that's where it's kind of rough out here. You know what I mean? And, this thing about social media, especially as Instagram, you see, like I said, is you see so many people. Like, I even look about the last 3 or 4 years, you get into DM conversations with people, and they're head is so inflated. It's so up their derriere, and it's just like, yo, why are you like this? Why are you like this? Who programmed you? Who sent you? You know what I mean? And it's just like it's not attractive quality. You know what I mean? It's not an attractive quality, and sometimes you just got to be sayonara, deuces, peace, see you later, and learn the game from Mr. Locario. You know what I mean?
Entitlement. That's what happens. I'm telling you, you have a lot of women who are so gassed up because they're getting inboxed by freaking celebrities. You know what I'm saying? The dudes with the blue check marks, all that other stuff. So now what happens is, even though those guys just want to smash, right? Women think that they can keep these guys and get these guys. So when you're a guy who, you know, lives at home with your mom and don't have nothing going on, and you're just an insecure dude, you have to ask yourself, why would she want you? You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. So I always tell guys, you got to work on yourself so that you become the type of man that these women are going to want. But even more important than that, you become the type of man that you're proud of. You become the type of man that you want to really be. You see what I'm saying? That's when you're going to actually get women that want to deal with you. Because see, this is what I always tell guys. One of the most important things that's going to make you attractive to women is your uniqueness. Because there's only one you, there's nobody else like you, and there's nobody else that can be you. But you have to make sure that you are that attractive guy in order for women to want to interact with you. Because what happens is, if they meet you and they get attached to you, they invest in time and energy into you, they're going to want you, and they're not going to want to let you go, because they say, man, if I let this guy go, I'm not going to find this type of guy again ever in life, because he's so awesome. But guess what? You have to get to the part where you're so awesome first before that can even happen. You see what I'm saying? And unfortunately, most of these dudes, they're not working on themselves to be awesome. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because women have to also work on themselves too to be awesome. But what women do have on the front end is they still get attention from men who want to hook up with them. You understand? Now, to get in a relationship, that's a whole different story. But for men, it's harder because as a guy, you don't even get the luxury of what the women get, which is, you know, the sex thrown at you. You don't get that. So you got to work to get the sex. You got to work to, maintain the relationship. Whereas a woman, she has to only work to maintain the relationship. She's getting the sex, you know what I'm saying, whenever.
Yeah, so true. Crazy. And I say this to men all the time. I'm like, listen, you know, we're not the same. Men and women are not the same. It's the game. The game's rigged. It's rigged from time. You know what I mean? Even a game genie can't even save it. You know what I mean? You could be a 10 as a dude, and this girl could be like maybe a 6.
That's the thing. It's rigged if you're the type of guy, or it looks rigged if you're the type of guy who is a dude with weak game. Because I always say this. I did a video a while ago where I talked about. I said that there's levels to attractiveness. So I said it like this: on the top level, there's the guy. The guy is an attractive guy is at the top. All women are right here, and then below all women is average men, and then below average men is below average men. So it's attractive guy, all women, understand? Average guys, and then below average guys. So that's basically the attractiveness scale. So what happens is that the top guy, he can get sex and a relationship whenever he wants. Women can get sex whenever they want, but they can't get a relationship whenever they want. The average guy has to work to get sex and a relationship, right? And then the below average guy has to work the most to get anything. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? So wow. I teach guys to be this guy up here. That's what I'm trying to teach guys to be, you know?
Locario, you break it down so well, man.
It's crazy.
So well. Where can everybody check you out? I already gave out the YouTube and things like that. And what you got in the pipeline? The coaching courses, all that good stuff. Plug all that information, my man.
Yeah, well, definitely. I appreciate you having me on here, man. Real talk, man. You guys can check me out. Go to badboymembership.com, badboymembership.com. That's where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. So every month I drop a new step-by-step dating advice tutorial. So all you got to do is watch it, follow the steps, and then, you know, put it out there when you're interacting with the women. Also, make sure you guys go to MrLocario.com. That's MrLocario.com, MrLocario.com. You can get, book a coaching session with me. Check out some of my books. Check out some of my courses. All of them are at MrLocario.com. And my Instagram is at RealMrLocario. You can find me there on Instagram. And I also have a documentary called Game Kings, The Definition of Game. And you can actually get the documentary for free if you join the Bad Boy membership. Go to badboymembership.com, or you can get it by itself at MrLocario.com. So that is it. Yeah, man.
I tell people this. I've been watching pieces of your content, you know what I mean, all through these years. And it's a pleasure to be able to host you on this podcast and platform.
I appreciate you having me, man. Real talk.
That's all love, man. Keep doing your thing, all right?
That's what's up. Appreciate you, bro.
For sure.
All right.